So how would you rate your back office systems, the admin side of the business? Because a lot of us don't want to focus on that. If we're tradespeople at heart, yeah, we might be able to go out and build a £500,000 extension or refurbishment, and that might be complex and we can do that easily. But yet when it comes to spreadsheets and admin and paperwork, well, sometimes that just goes over our heads because that's not our strength. So how do you find that side of the business? Well, it'd be interesting just to rate yourselves on how your systems are across all the different departments that you have in your business, and then be able to take action to try and automate it, to try and delegate it, or try and outsource it to others so that you're finding you're not chained to a desk every day of the week. So I use what's called the system saver, which helps us identify these things. So let me just share my screen with you. Now, one of the first things you want to do as part of this system saver is just have a snapshot of where you are at the moment. So just think about your systems in your business and just think to yourself, where am I sitting? Am I sitting at the moment with no time at all because I'm so overrun with all the paperwork? Or do I have it fully automated? So where would you rate yourself along that scale? Maybe you'll say, yeah, I've got no time and I haven't really got much automation, so I'm probably sitting around there. Then you might think, how are your systems? Are they an absolute mess? Or are you highly organised as a business? Or you might think, well, at the minute, yeah, I'm an absolute mess. So really, you would say you're sitting around here. If we combine those two scores, that's where you are in business at the moment. Where we want to be, clearly, is up here. We want to be highly organised and highly automated or outsourced so that we don't have to worry about that. But that takes time, doesn't it? It takes systems and automation and processes to get that sort of thing in place. So it's interesting just analysing where you are at the moment when you do this. Once you've done that and you've got a snapshot of your score, what you then want to do is just move over to this timesheet here, where we analyse every department in your business at the minute. And it can often be really overwhelming when you've got so much to do as a business owner. You can think, yeah, I need to put that in place and I need to put this system in place. You might look at some bigger companies that have all this automation done and you think, well, it's just going to take me ages to try and do this. And it becomes so overwhelming that you don't end up putting any of it in place at all. So what we want to do is, first of all, identify what are your 1 to 3 top big areas that you need to sort out and resolve in your business. So the way I would do this is come in here and think about each department and then think about the big frustration that you have in that department. Think about how much time it's taking out of your working week, and think about how much money you could save if you manage to outsource this or automate it or delegate it to others. So I would run through this. So if we briefly run through it, for financing, I might say, well, my big problem in financing is my receipt management. That might be a big problem. No one hands their receipts in, and you just get handed a big pile of receipts at the end of the month that you've got to try and sort out for your bookkeeper. Maybe for your sales and marketing, you might say, our big problem here is not knowing what to post on social media. That might take you up a lot of time. Or maybe it's typing your estimates. That could take you hours and you find that really frustrating. So you'd go through each one of these and then assign a time to it. So you might say, well, my receipt management's taken me an hour a week. My typing the estimates and whatever else has taken me 3 hours. So these might be areas you think, these are the big ones that I want to hand off. Operations might be something different. HR, you might have, I can't resolve my sickness and holiday bookings. So you get the idea. You're going to run through each one of these. Once you've done that and you've analysed each department, what you then want to do is just pick out your top 3 things. So you might say, well, do you know what, the one that's really taken me the most time is this one here, typing my estimates up. I really need to automate that. Or maybe, I've really got to sort out this receipt management. That's one of my top thing that I've got to resolve. And then you can apply a money aspect to it. So it might not be time that you need in business. Maybe you need to earn more money. So you might think, well, that's actually costing me £1,000 a month because I'm not resolving that. Just a guesstimate. But what we're trying to do here is we're trying to prioritise what is the first thing that you should be focusing on as a business owner. Otherwise, there's so much to do that you're never going to do it all. So let's prioritise what the main thing is for you. Now, one thing I work on with my mastermind clients is putting the right systems and processes in place. So we've got some basic foundational processes we put in place, but then we go into each department: finance, sales, operations, and we go across the board and we put each one in place so that every department has either something automated or a proper system in place, or it's delegated to other people. So that's something I reserve for Mastermind. If you want to talk about how we can do that for your business, then reach out, let's jump on a call and we'll do that. So now you've identified your top 1 to 3 things, what is a top tip I can give you in order to be able to potentially automate this or outsource it to others? Well, the first thing I would say is that it doesn't matter what you spend on software or whatever else. You can have the most expensive software systems in place, but if you don't have a standard operating procedure, an SOP in place on how you do that task, then you'll end up just spending a lot of money on a tool or a software that you're not really using. So I see this all the time. There's a brilliant software out there called Builder Trend, which is really useful for a lot of builders out there. They end up spending, it's a lot of money. I think it's about £300 a month or so for the membership. They spend a lot of money getting this software, thinking it's going to solve all their problems, but because they haven't got their SOPs in place, their standard operating procedures of how they're going to use that software, then no one knows how to use it. They haven't got a system in place, so it's just a wasted tool that doesn't get used. So one of the first things I'd recommend for you is, once you've identified your top tasks, maybe your top task is receipt management. You've got to get your receipts under control. Then I would list out the exact process you want all your team to follow with that. So maybe process number 1 is every time they get a receipt from the builders merchants, they need to use a piece of software like Dext or Receipt Bank. They scan it and that automatically feeds into Xero, and then the bookkeeper can look through that, tick off the receipts and assign it to a particular project. So you just list out, it might just be 3, 5, 10 steps per task that you want everyone to follow. And then once you've got everyone to follow that, you can find a piece of software that helps you implement that easily. That's what you call an SOP. Now, you can apply that to every area of your business, absolutely every area. And it's essential if you, as the business owner, want to be able to delegate, or you want to be able to outsource to others, maybe some VAs or someone else on an admin team, you have to have those SOPs in place so everyone knows exactly how you want that task carried out. So hopefully you can use the System Saver just to spend 5 minutes or so analysing each department and working out what SOPs you can put in place for your business to give yourself as the business owner more time, more freedom and more money. And like I said, I'm working with Mastermind clients to get some brilliant systems in place for every area of their business. So as they scale, they're not scaling up their chaos, they're not scaling up the problems, but as they scale, they're bringing more time and freedom into their own personal lives. So if you want to talk about that, feel free to reach out.